Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Pro Wrestling Report for Friday, July 9, 2010. Dameon Nelson here alongside David Octavius Tiberius the Hero. David Tiberius the Octavius Hero. And welcome to the studio.
I don't appreciate that.
What?
Because the people think that's what my name is.
Don't you have that identity guard? Or you're not worried about someone stealing your identity, right?
Oh, not at all. You steal all my quotes, but I'm not worried about my identity.
Can you steal what's stolen?
Of course you can.
Thank you for tuning in and joining us. A lot of discussion to get to this week, including a full preview of TNA's Victory Road on pay-per-view this Sunday night.
We're going to talk about TNA?
Well, apparently we don't. The interns have been giving us the comments that people have been leaving across our media channels, and it's funny because sometimes it seems like we weren't even at that show that they're talking about.
Well, ever since you've been banned from catering, we haven't talked about it.
No, that's all good now.
You guys are cool?
Yeah, cool. We're
All
good.
right.
We're good. There's more Brussels sprouts on the menu.
You know we're going to be at TNA anyhow, in Bloomington, Illinois.
Indeed, July 23rd, coming up sooner than later.
Yes.
And then going out to Bound for Glory, where our coverage will surpass all others. But be that as it may, let's talk a little bit more about TNA. As a matter of fact, three of the four items on today's list, TNA wrestling related. The first of which is the value of a certain major star in TNA wrestling.
Ken Anderson is worth a ton of money for that company.
Last week in our special edition, David, we talked about the $1 million stars in professional wrestling, and this name was not on that list, but he is a person who is treated like one by TNA Wrestling. And the question I want to ask, as it pertains to Sting, is his current value to TNA Wrestling or his current value to the business overall? He is obviously a major focal point of TNA Wrestling. We've talked about the potential, at least in our minds, of that matchup, that dream match between him and The Undertaker at some point. The match that has not happened, at least in their current personas. But the question for right now is Sting, who's recently suspended from TNA Wrestling, at least for storyline purposes, is Sting still relevant in the wrestling world, specifically TNA Wrestling?
He's relevant in the wrestling world. I don't think he's as relevant in TNA wrestling world.
Reason being?
He's been suspended. They took him off TV.
But does anyone care that he was suspended?
Well,
which
then
leads
that
to the
means
original
he's not
question.
relevant.
Indeed. Is too much emphasis placed on Sting?
Wait, yeah.
Now, I will
there is
say,
too much.
I've been to the Impact Zone, and this was a couple of years ago, where I was shocked by what I perceived to be Sting's value and what his actual in-arena value was based on the reaction, the pop, if you will, that he got.
And what was the pop he got?
It's huge. Biggest of the night. Now, at the time, you're
Yeah.
comparing it to Booker T, not slighting him. You're comparing it to Kurt Angle, not slighting him. You're comparing it to AJ Styles, not slighting him.
But he was
the
feuding
biggest
against
name.
the Main Event Mafia then. Wait,
No,
he was
this
in
was
the
even
Mafia.
before that. This is a while back. This is
Huh.
part of the Wayback Machine.
Yeah.
We know Sting is one of the highest paid talents in the company.
Yes. He's a nostalgia pop kind of guy.
But is he?
Yes.
Still.
Yes.
I don't think so, given his
They
utilization.
dust him off for the big match.
Yeah, but do they look at where they've come in the last 7 months?
Mm-hmm.
Is Sting still a necessary part of TNA wrestling?
No, they don't need him right now.
So why keep him? Is it cheaper to keep him?
Yeah. Normally it is cheaper to keep him. But in this case, I think the company might finally be getting some momentum and they want to reward him for being a cog early on with the company.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it doesn't hurt to have Sting involved with TNA Wrestling. It just hurts when you put him in the ring with somebody. Because, you know what? Sting is tremendously talented. He can teach those guys a lot. But his in-ring career, it's long gone. He's nowhere near the guy he used to be. Sting used to be...
Does he have the desire to be?
I'm sure he has...
Is he motivated?
No.
And what reason does he have to be motivated?
You can tell he's not motivated because you can tell he doesn't work out. He doesn't tan.
He wrestles in a t-shirt.
He doesn't. Well, that's because he's hurt, and you can just tell he just.
Wait, what does it wearing a t-shirt have to do with being hurt?
It covers up all the bandages underneath.
Oh, the bandages, the
Yes.
ace bandages. Got
Yes. That's what it is.
So right here, right now, you would say Sting is not relevant to the wrestling business.
He's not relevant to TNA. He's relevant if he goes over to Japan, huge star. Okay? He goes up, and does WrestleMania with Undertaker.
Money.
Absolutely.
Money.
But he's run his course in TNA.
Time to walk away?
He could. And you know what? I don't know if the fans would miss him. I
They
don't
wouldn't.
think the
I don't
fans
think they'd miss him one
appreciate
bit.
what Sting did when he first came to that company.
Excellent point. He was one of the 13 saviors of the company.
No, he was the savior of the
How
company.
many have there been? There was Sting, then there was Mick Foley, then there was Kurt Angle,
No.
not in that order.
When
Hogan,
they
Bischoff.
brought Sting in for the first time, that was huge.
It was.
Sting was really done.
Yeah,
He had no
absolutely.
reason to come back whatsoever.
Had the option of going to World Wrestling Entertainment.
Mhm.
Wanted a limited schedule, which I don't fault anybody for. Chose to go to TNA. Was a big bump. Was a very
The
big
only other signing bigger for TNA has been Hulk Hogan.
bump. Really? Kurt
Yes.
Angle
No.
not near.
No, because Kurt Angle was like, wow, this is great. But Sting was the number one guy in WCW. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, for a long time. For a very long time. But this Crow Sting has been going on for a long time. And
But
I think
he
you
has to
alluded
do the Crow thing. Because, listen, I asked Sting one time, I go, hey, when are you going to bleach the hair back
Mhm.
and,
Well.
do the colors? And he's like, I'm going bald. He goes, if I cut my hair short, I'll be bald.
Well, I know the feeling. I would tend to agree with you. I don't think. I mean, it
couldn't
really.
imagine you in a short, buzzed, blonde haircut.
These next 30 days, I was blonde once. These next 30 days, who's going to miss him? Now, I will say his departure, his suspension by Dixie Carter was a bit intriguing because it seemed as if he was going in the direction of don't trust Hogan and Bischoff, which could lead to an interesting storyline. For me, anyways.
You want to see Hogan versus Sting again?
Absolutely not. I don't mean a match. I mean a storyline.
This is
Dixie has
98,
taught
it's
it.
2008.
But Dixie has talked about how great. Wasn't that the match that didn't end? Halloween Havoc 98?
No, that was Starrcade 98, I thought.
That one ended. But Dixie, Hogan's coming in, Bischoff's coming in, you're going to change the company forever, TNA has done it, blah, 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 blah. Sting shows Dixie the light. You got these factions going against each other. They get some legs out of that, I think.
No.
There you go again.
There I go, what again?
Cynical.
I'm honest. There's a
No,
difference.
Rashi's honest.
I'm not honest.
I didn't say you're a liar.
Well, you're not saying I'm honest.
No, I'm just saying that you
Rashi is stubborn.
What
first of
good could come of that, if anything? The Dixie suspension of
Okay.
Sting and what he
Do
said
you
when she
think
suspended him.
people are going to tune in for Sting now when he comes back?
No.
Okay, so it doesn't
And
mean
again,
anything.
that's not at all a knock against Sting. He's a great talent, but
Here's the problem with Sting right
he
now.
hasn't been used properly to be
Here's
relevant.
the problem with Sting right now.
What's the problem with Sting right now?
You got Mr. Anderson.
Anderson.
You got Jeff Hardy. Rob Van Dam. You have all these other baby faces ahead of him.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'd be interested to hear your thoughts on Sting's value
Really?
to TNA Wrestling
Well, you might be. I'm not interested.
and the wrestling business overall. David Hero, as we continue to talk about TNA and the relevancy of some of their stars, what's the state of Impact in your opinion? We've seen them come back to Thursday nights, trying to re-grasp that hold on Thursdays. There either will or won't be 4 hours of TNA wrestling on Thursdays, depending on who you ask.
That would be bad.
That would be very bad.
That's
Overkill.
oversaturation.
Mm-hmm. They've seen some encouraging news in their ratings trends. We'll talk more about that later. But has the show gotten better, worse, or about the same since returning to Thursday nights? Never mind the stars. Well, I guess the stars do play a role in it, but ultimately it's how the show is presented, how
I think
those
the
2
show's
hours
a
are
lot
presented.
tighter right now. I think it's a better show, but they also have better talent.
Which equals a
Better show. Absolutely.
What we've seen over the last several weeks since TNA has returned to Thursdays is that all-important second hour. They have seen ratings increases from the first hour into the second hour, which is completely opposite of where they were before moving to Mondays, where they would see the show pretty much start at a high and decline over the course of 2 hours, which is not good for anybody. But now we're seeing either viewers joining in or viewers intrigued enough to continue watching all the way through the show. That's got to be a good sign for TNA Wrestling.
And they have familiar faces on their show right now. The three guys I mentioned earlier.
Channel stoppers or flipper stoppers?
Yeah, you got Ken, you got Jeff Hardy, you got RVD, you got Hogan popping in once in a while. You got Ric Flair. People that are recognizable. You just had to do that, didn't you?
Well, he's on that list.
You think he's as recognizable as the other guys I've mentioned?
The ratings going up over the course of the show.
You're not going to answer the question.
You say it's a tighter show. What does that mean, a tighter show?
It flows better. It runs better.
Keeps you intrigued over the course of the period of time
Yes,
it's on
because what they do is have those little backstage vignettes that, okay, you kind of want to see what they're talking about.
Keeps you there.
Yes.
Last night on Impact, more big news and more promotion or hype going into the pay-per-view on Sunday. How many more times can TNA hype or make
every
these
week
big
they're going to do
announcements?
it. Every week. Why not?
But what do they mean? Are people still falling for it?
Yeah, absolutely they are.
I don't know.
I do.
I don't know.
You know, come on.
I mean, it's like breaking news. You get
not like
desensitized
hot
to it when
news.
it's always breaking. You know, there's nothing special about it. I mean, how much bigger can you get than the announcement that Hulk Hogan, the man who defines professional wrestling in its current day, is joined your company? After that, how much bigger can you be? I don't think that it gets any
You
bigger
can
than
get a
that.
laptop and say it's your new general manager. That's pretty big.
Did you hear that?
No.
We just got an email from the GM of
Oh my
Raw.
gosh.
God, he's emailing us. I can't believe this. It says right here, GM Raw, no name. What?
Read the keyboard, though, not the monitor.
I got to put my reading glasses on. I'll read this too. He says, effective immediately, David Hero is being traded to Miami. Really?
I want to ring.
Miami, Florida? South Beach?
Yeah. That way I'll get a ring.
You're going to get some heat down there.
Literally. I get heat everywhere. It's not fair.
WWE has apparently done a very interesting ban, and they no longer allow a reverse knife edge chop.
Really?
Apparently, for some time, confirmed by referee Jimmy Corderas on your buddy Arthur O'Cow's right after wrestling radio show last week. Jimmy Corderas, a former wrestling referee with World Wrestling Entertainment, says that it's actually been a long time, if not years, since this move has been banned. Only Shawn Michaels was allowed to do it, even when Ric Flair was there. What the heck is the point? Why would you ban that? Is it the woos?
It's because they don't want to acknowledge Ric Flair.
But
that's your company.
Of course.
Well, you know, I hate the WWE.
We know the pile driver was banned for a while after Austin Stinger.
Which it should be.
Yeah. Well, we know that for a while the choke slam was only to be used by the Undertaker.
The running
and Kane.
power bomb has been banned.
Mm-hmm. Blood, chokeholds with ties, things of that nature.
But you can throw metal stairs at somebody at their head, and that's fine.
Are the stairs heavier? Do you have intel on that? Because it took Cena some time to.
Well, he's been beat up the last few weeks. He's not fully healed.
I thought he was Superman.
No. He's not Superman. And here, I'll show you why. Because I've been talking to Nexus.
Not that kind of show. You've been talking. What is this?
It's
What have you been
kryptonite.
doing?
It's kryptonite.
Wait, I thought you couldn't have that near you.
I am used to it.
Are you giving that to Wade Barrett?
Wade Barrett, I'm giving this to him since I was going to beat.
Is he going to wear that
John
on his
Cena.
lapel as opposed
No,
to the
he's-
white flower?
He's going to have it in his hand, and when he punches him,
That's a foreign object. Literally, it's from a different planet.
and Wade Barrett is a foreign wrestler,
Wow.
so it's perfect.
He's legal now. He's back.
No, he just has the right paperwork now, and now he has the right weapon.
You carry this on you.
A pocket full of kryptonite. Why wouldn't I?
Banning the move, though. I mean, isn't that a bit extreme? That's a basic wrestling move.
A chop?
Yeah.
You're in a fight. Are you really going to chop somebody? It's the dumbest move in wrestling.
Do you want to start that again?
It's the
Do you wanna
dumbest
start that again?
move in wrestling.
It may be safe to do so
Yeah,
with
I'm
Rashi
gonna-
not being here.
I'm going to go into a bar. I'm going to fight somebody. I'm going to chop them. I'm going to go, woo, every time I chop somebody in a fight. Come on.
Well, depending on what state of mind you're in, you
You're
may
gonna
do that.
Pop them right in the nose. Kick them in the planters. You know?
The move's clearly been banned for a long time, and not till I heard this, actually, did I realize I hadn't seen it in a long time. Okay, so what? Are they going to ban promos now when Austin does something they don't like, so no one says what anymore?
What? That is so old. That I wish they would stop.
It's fan interaction.
But that just shows you
How much they don't care.
exactly.
They'd rather chant what? You'd rather chant what than hear what a lot of people are saying.
What? 6 years old, 7 years old?
And you know how much that bothers some of the stars, specifically Vince McMahon, because he acknowledges it.
Because he can't control it.
Yes, exactly.
I gotta put this away. I'm getting a little weak right now.
TNA Victory Road is live this Sunday night on pay-per-view. And David, we're going to have our broadcast debut edition of the Pro Wrestling Report Interactive Live. A live
That's not
show.
in my contract.
That's why you're not on it. A live show Sunday night right after TNA's Victory Road pay-per-view.
You're doing it?
Yes, indeed. And again, next Sunday after WWE's Money in the Bank pay-per-view. After
That's next
every
Sunday?
WWE and TNA pay-per-view, live from the PWR studios will be
You're paying my
Interactive
kilo bill,
Live.
right? All these pay-per-views we gotta watch?
You just write it off.
This is ridiculous.
And it'll be your comments, your emails, your tweets, your Facebook posts, all that stuff. And you will be part of the show without even being there, so be sure to tune in. But this Sunday on pay-per-view, it's TNA's Victory Road and David Hero. As we have said many a time before, they really don't have to do much to surpass last year's Victory Road.
I didn't watch it.
Last year's Victory Road was the event where the Mafia won all the matches. All the heels won all night long, and that Charmel
that's
versus...
right. I did watch that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was there live.
I think I predicted that show too, that they'd all win all the title belts. That's where the whole DHHS thing started.
It was
by the
painful.
Way.
Was it? Really?
Yeah.
Not that long ago.
Oh yeah, a year ago?
Madison Rayne versus Angelina Love for the Knockouts Championship. There are a lot of rumors out there, David, that Angelina Love and Madison Rayne will once again be beautiful people.
Really?
The career is on the line. Angelina Love has put her career on the line.
Well, then you know she's gonna win.
That didn't happen in the last 2 months.
They can't afford to lose another knockout. Which, by the way, let's not forget Monday night.
Let us not. Monday Night Live on 540 ESPN, another exclusive from the Pro Wrestling Report. What was our latest exclusive? I think somebody had an injury 2 weeks ago. We reported it, and now all of a sudden...
I think some guy named H tore his tricep. Did we talk about it?
Yeah, had surgery. Could be out for a little while.
Yeah.
Where did we hear that?
I can't tell you that.
No. When I say we, I mean them.
Oh, we heard it here.
Here?
Yeah.
Pro Wrestling Report?
Yeah.
Interesting. But first interview since her departure from TNA Wrestling, ODB. ODB will be with us Monday night on 540 ESPN.
I'm so proud of you.
What's that?
Because you're going to let her come back on the show again.
I do what's good for business.
See?
I learned from Vince McMahon.
You have changed.
I went to one of his cinemas. Cinemas, you know, he was doing cinemas in the late 80s.
Why don't you find some new adjectives or something?
Madison Rayne, Angelina Love, the Knockouts Championship on the line. David Hero.
Now, wait. Once again, I got to preface this. Everything I say from here during this pay-per-view...
Entertainment purposes only?
Entertainment purposes only.
Unless you're right, then it's DHHS.
Yes.
I don't know how small we can get the print on the screen for your disclaimers.
They just heard me say it.
Just saying. You were saying?
I like Angelina Love. I'm going to pick Angelina Love.
I heard the tires screeching at that point.
No, I'm going to pick Angelina Love to win the knockout.
You know, I miss the beautiful people that was the original beautiful people. And granted, it was a visa issue that pretty much put an end to that. We saw Lacey Von Erich come in.
But Lacey's been for some good TV, though.
Good TV.
She's been good TV.
Good wrestling matches?
Everyone loves a car crash.
Especially when it's pretty to look at.
Mm-hmm.
Devon and Bubba Ray will be on opposite sides of the ring as they also take on Jesse Nate.
It's a three-way, huh?
Three-way dance. Speaking of relevancy, how relevant is Team 3D right now to the business?
I gotta be careful what I say, because the last thing I want is for Bubba to get all over my case.
He scares me. Yeah, I told you the story. The most terrified I've ever been in a public event, specifically a wrestling event,
No.
ECW, it was a pay-per-view, barely legal, I think, at the Odeum in Chicago, Illinois. Bubba got in the ring, and he cut a convincing promo and convinced people in the first couple of rows to throw their chairs into the ring. Well, it was interpreted as everybody throw your chairs in the ring. I was in the front row.
You were in the front row?
Firing zone. Yeah.
I bet
All
you
bad.
were scared.
I was out of there faster than Michael Cole. Terrified. But this matchup, these three men, Jesse Neal's been impressive as of late. I'm liking the team of Inc. Inc.
Jesse Neal needs to win this match.
Are they going to do that or further the story, or can they do both?
You know what I
Further
think
the
is gonna
story
happen?
between Team 3D.
I think somehow Devon is going to cost Bubba the match and Jesse Neal beats Bubba.
That works. I can buy that.
Mm-hmm.
That works. The tag team championships will be on the line as the currently held up titles are going to be going to either the team of Beer Money Incorporated of James Storm and Robert Roode or the Motor City Machine Guns. Who do you see in that matchup, Dave? Saban and Shelley have been back on TV over the last few weeks.
But
Obviously,
here's the
a
thing.
strong
here's
team.
the thing. Right now, they are working on establishing Fortune.
Yes.
Right? So how silly would it be to have the tag team members of Fortune lose to the Machine Guns? If Ric Flair's stable is
AJ Styles has been losing a lot of matches lately.
if Ric Flair's stable is going to be anything, they need some gold. I'm going to go with Beer Money.
Now, is that for entertainment purposes or DHHS?
I'll tell you Monday which way it's going to be, but as of right now, my first predictions are for entertainment purposes.
You know, it's unfortunate because I actually like both these teams, and I think either one would be strong with the straps. However, I would agree with your reasoning that it makes sense for Beer Money to walk out with those
I would love to
titles.
see the Machine Guns win the belts, and that wouldn't surprise me either. But what I'm saying is if they're going to make Fortune relevant, they have to win.
Are the Motor City Machine Guns World Tag Team Championship material or United States Tag Team Championship material?
What were the Rock and Roll Express? What were the Midnight Express?
You know, I missed the six-man tag team titles. How long were those around?
Oh,
It was back in the NWA days, wasn't it?
yeah.
I wonder at its peak, and maybe you all could tell us out there, at its peak, how many belts were in professional wrestling? I'm talking NWA and WWF.
And AWA.
And AWA. There are a lot of belts in NWA. TV, US Tag, six-man,
Wasn't there like a Western?
World. There's a lot of belts.
Yeah. Western States title.
The Ultimate X match for the X Division Championship, Brian Kendrick versus Douglas Williams. Cynical.
I'm not cynical. I'm just trying to think.
Well, you think I will say that
Yeah.
I certainly pick Williams in that matchup. I do so reluctantly, though. This is the match Williams doesn't like. This is the match that he says is not what defines the X Division. So how great would it be for his heat factor, if you will, if he wins this match that he is not a fan of?
Well, then I'm going to pick Kendrick.
Just to be difficult?
No, just because that'll be our tiebreaker.
Your confidence is overpowering this room. It is a steel cage matchup. And it's going to be Matt Morgan versus Hernandez in a bit of a grudge match.
Matt Morgan.
Hands down. Hernandez, I think, has more steam behind him right now than Morgan.
Matt Morgan. He needs it.
It's been a while. When's the last time we really had a win? I mean, a meaningful win. You know, I was thinking about watching Impact last week. Last Bound for Glory. Remember that Morgan had that match with Kurt Angle?
Is it escape over the top or through the door cage match?
I believe in TNA you must go over the top.
I'll still stick with
Morgan's taller, substantially.
I know.
Matt Morgan had that excellent matchup with Kurt Angle in Bound for Glory last year, and that was the match that we thought would make Matt Morgan and put him in the upper echelon of stars in TNA wrestling. Never happened.
No. I guess he wasn't ready yet.
Mm-hmm.
Part of me wants to pick Hernandez. But I got to stick with my original Fortune member and go with Matt Morgan.
Kurt Angle says he must win this match. And he goes up against a returning D'Angelo De Niro.
Let me say this.
This ought to be good, folks.
No, this is
For entertainment purposes only.
No. This is
Train driver on a close course.
I'm trying not to tear up right now. Okay.
You're dirty. You're just dirty.
If the
2
Pope
hours
was wrestling anybody else but Kurt Angle, I would pick the Pope.
Fascinating. No, you would not.
Yes, I would, because coming back off an injury, he would get a big victory. But right now, going up against the guy that's going to go from 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, all the way to number 1, Kurt Angle is not going to lose.
In any way, shape, form.
Any way, shape, or
Kurt
form.
Angle will pin
or
D'Angelo
make
De Niro.
him tap.
But it will be a decisive victory.
It's going to be a clean victory.
How does the Pope recover from that?
He'll get back on the mic and he'll tear up and thank everyone for cheering for him and how special he was.
We talked about this on Monday, David. It was
doesn't make a difference if you
it was
and
the
Rashi talked about it.
It was
or
the
not.
presentation of that segment that made the Pope
This
look
is
a little bit
my
weak.
time right now. I'm giving my explanation. The Pope can cut a promo at the next TV and he'll have all this heat right back again. He doesn't need to beat Kurt Angle, and he's not going to beat Kurt Angle.
I picked Kurt Angle in that matchup.
No, but no one says anything about that.
I don't have an issue with the Pope.
I don't either.
I think you do.
I do.
You got to check out there. I think you do.
No. See, this is why you spin things around on me.
I am clearly a Democrat.
One time I said he would never headline a pay-per-view.
And 2 days later?
He didn't headline a pay-per-view. He didn't.
He secured a spot to headline a pay-per-view.
But was it the headlining main event?
By your cryptic definitions, maybe.
No, he wasn't.
What's the headlining main event on Victory Road this Sunday?
What's the main event? Oh, it's Anderson, Hardy, Abyss, and RVD.
Of course. All right.
Well, okay, you pick one other match that means more than that four-way.
Ric Flair versus Jay Lethal.
No, that does not mean more than the four-way.
A special challenge match. We've moved on. Tick-tock.
Ric Flair.
Really?
Yeah.
Lethal has no chance? His brother got attacked?
No, listen, here's why.
Why?
Because Jay Lethal has gotten over on Ric Flair every week for the last 3
Wow!
He's made Ric Flair and those guys look silly.
Wow!
You watch Ric Flair. He will show why he's the dirtiest player in the game,
Oldest ride.
and he's going
Longest
to
line.
beat Jay Lethal.
The main event and the headlining matchup.
What'd you pick?
I didn't. Headlining matchup and the main event on TNA's Victory Road this Sunday. It is a 4-way match for the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. RVD defends his title against not 1, not 2, but 3 men, and they are Abyss, Jeff Hardy, and Ken Anderson. David Hero,
I'm getting the winner right now. I knew it. Okay.
You speculated earlier today as we were talking that this might result in a new champion.
Oh, it is going to be a
Please
new
speak.
champion.
Is?
I'm going to go with Abyss. They have invested too much time and too much money, and he's beat up too many guys along the way for him to lose in this match. And
I don't understand why they would take the title off of RVD.
Because it hasn't helped business.
Has it not? Really? Really?
I don't think it
Live
has.
event business, very strong. They succeeded in
Look at who's on the live events. It's stacked.
We've had many conversations about needing a title. RVD doesn't need the title, you're saying.
No, it's nice that RVD has it because he's recognizable. And the fans love him. But I don't think having RVD as the champ has helped the business.
I disagree with your pick of Abyss in that matchup.
Well, I would expect you to.
Expect the title to stay around the waist of RVD. That is TNA Victory Road this Sunday on pay-per-view. Remember, right after the show, 11 Eastern, 10 Central, we're going to be live at pwrshow.com with a live broadcast.
No. You're going to be live.
Well, we being PWR.
Oh, okay.
I being me, will be live on pwrshow.com, and we'll be taking your questions and comments on that program. And then this Monday night, Monday, another PWR exclusive. ODB speaks out on her decision to leave TNA Wrestling. That's this Monday on 540 ESPN and streaming live at pwrshow.com. David, do you want to sell anything before you go?
Well, we'll have a new DHH shirt
No,
on Monday night.
if this is just for entertainment purposes only.
Well, after I run...
But you can't Heenan this. You're
What do you
Heenaning
mean?
this.
I'm not hitting anything. I picked the winners.
For entertainment purposes only,
If
so
you're
then you
gonna-
can
no,
say.
if you're going to gamble, it's for entertainment purposes only. Do not
Ladies and
take...
gentlemen, for David Hero, this is Dameon Nelson saying thank you for tuning in to the Pro Wrestling Report Primetime.